Last year, he got to world number 2 without owning Erling Haaland. Welcome to the show, revealing his team ahead of game week 1. FPL Chai, Dylan, my good friend. Dylan, how are you, mate? And welcome to the show. I hear you went to world number 2 last year without owning Haaland. Are you,
Hello, hello,
spoiler alert,
hello.
are you looking at Haaland this year?
Oh yeah, of course. I suppose I am tempted with that fixture in game week 2, but last year was absolute magic. Hopefully, we can replicate something the same.
Yeah, nice. All right, well, look, let's crack on straight away. You can find Dylan at FPL Chai on YouTube and Twitter and all the socials. If you're enjoying the show, do hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Both subscribe to my channel and go and find Dylan's and subscribe to his. Let's talk through then, bottom to top. Henderson and Ward, 4.5 and 4.0, I guess, is more the discussion point here than the individual. I've also got the same setup. Are you set on that one set and forget keeper rather than 2 rotating?
Yeah, I'm fairly happy with just sticking with a 4.5 rather than going up to a premium, maybe 5.5. I just feel like to provide better value and you can use that money elsewhere.
Yeah, fair point. All right, well, look, without further ado, let's have a look at that back line. And then we'll get to the midfielders and forwards and talk Haaland or no Haaland. But I expect this is a no Haaland draft. But let's look at the defence because you've spent a bit of money here. You spent more. Look, we speak every week. I know you, and I know your FPL game. And usually you commit a lot of funds to attack. And I kind of expected you to have one premium, but you've gone. I think we could arguably call Pedro Porro premium as well at 5.5. So we could say
Just
you've got
about,
3
yeah.
premiums here.
Yeah, I suppose when you go without Haaland, this is a no Haaland draft, you're right. You have a lot of money to spend, and why not just make nearly every single position in the team premiums, because you almost can and get the best value out of certain players. Like last season, I know we didn't see a lot of clean sheets, but maybe that's more of a reason to go for some of the more premium options to try to get some attacking returns. But yeah, Pedro Porro, my boy, I absolutely love him, but he is coming up in really good positions, specifically in preseason, and we know he gets in the league how many positions he gets in to take shots. So he might be on corners as well. So we'll see. I suppose next we'll get into Trent. Trent is a no-brainer for me. 7 million. He's been in every single team I've made. But any slots Liverpool look like they're going to be even better than last year, maybe. But it looks of it, they've had a really, really strong preseason, and he had an assist yesterday in a friendly.
Yeah.
So very happy with him. So we'll go into Konsa before we get into Guardiola, I suppose. Konsa rotates really, really well with Pedro Porro. I think
And that's the key.
Yeah,
that's always the key. Like, don't look at Conjure and think Dylan's saying he's the best 4.5 million defender. He's the best 4.5 million defender for Dylan's team because he's got Pedro Porro.
Yeah, and that's how I picked that slot, to be honest. And I think it was Big Man that I was listening to.
Yeah.
But he rotates really well in game week 3 and 4 when Spurs play Newcastle and Arsenal. They have Ipswich away and I think it's Everton at home, I want to say. Or maybe Leicester. And then you have Barco, who was, I think, probably the best 4.0. Maybe not nailed for past the first 5 game weeks, but another option is Ben Johnson for Ipswich. But I think Barco for me, just for the fixtures in 4 and 5 maybe. And then Guardiola, I feel like is a very exciting pick, but we haven't seen it in pre-season. It's actually very interesting. With Doku now playing on the left, Guardiola's not getting as advanced, which is I don't know if it's worrying, but then again, at 6 million, he's the most nailed City defender in my opinion. And I feel like City defensively are really good. I know a lot of last season they conceded very late in games, but I don't think this season will be the same.
When we look at their defense from last year, this is all from the Scout members area, by the way, guys. Go check it out. Dylan and I, Scout regulars. Man City, I ranked them second. I filtered by goals conceded, expected goals conceded, and clean sheets overall. And they came out second in all those metrics. So Arsenal were clearing away the best defence last year.
100%.
But Guardiola and Man City gives you some assurance of clean sheets, and they don't concede many chances. Like expected goals conceded, they're 35 for City over the whole season. Arsenal 28, but then next best is Liverpool at 46. There's a big gap there. That is very clearly a top 2. And Guardiola is going to start games and he is going to keep a ton of clean sheets. It's worth just monitoring, though, that with Rico Lewis at right back in the Community Shield, Rico Lewis steps into midfield and plays inverted, which leaves you with a back 3 of Gvardiol and the other 2 centre-backs. So again, with Rico Lewis, that hinders Gvardiol a bit. And obviously you mentioned Doku also can hinder him. So just one to monitor there, but you're still going to get a ton of clean sheet points, even if you're not getting those attacking returns. So a very good backline, mate. And I think Trent is a gift this year at 7. It's the lowest we've seen him in a couple of seasons. And Liverpool under Klopp, we just saw the defensive data is not bad. It's going to be better under Slot. Slot has more control, more possession. They'll be even tighter at the back. Okay, let's move on to the midfield. In terms of nailed assets at the back, Dylan, before we see your midfielders, do you feel fairly settled? Who's the most vulnerable not to be in your team come Friday's deadline from these 7 players?
I would say Henderson and Trent are definitely locked.
Right.
I can't look past them, to be honest. I feel like Konsa and Porro, if you get rid of one, you get rid of both, almost.
Yes.
You know, that kind of way. And I suppose Guardiola could potentially, but I see it's unlikely unless I want to upgrade someone in the midfield. But yeah, I would say it's fairly locked.
I like that. Guys, if you're enjoying the stream, do hit those buttons, like and subscribe. Also, you can become a channel member if you fancy. Dylan also has channel membership opportunities on his channel. We have the squad and ultras on this channel. I answer all channel members' questions, and even the ultras are in a WhatsApp group. FPL Chai Dylan is actually in that WhatsApp group as well. If you fancy joining, loads of fun. There's only 15, 20 of us, but it's always a good crack. And we speak all day, every day in there. At times, Chai, I know you have to mute the group.
Yeah, a lot of your channel ultras are always active in it, but I try to be as much as I can.
Good man. Well, look, let's go back to your team. Let's see those midfielders. Your midfield is... This is the midfielder dreams, guys. The no Haaland drafts really can have the midfielder dreams because they can get Salah in. They can still have that 10 million midfielder in, whether it's a Son or a Saka. And there's still money left over to have like a Bruno, who a lot of teams can't reach that 8.5 price point. So I guess, Chai, kick us off with Bruno, because I don't see him in many drafts at all. And I know how hot you are on him. I also think he's a great option. I think he's better than Odegaard at the same price. So yeah, talk to me about why Bruno's in your team.
Yeah, Bruno, United star, man. I think they'll be a bit better this season. As a player, I just think he's amazing, and he's everything you want in an FPL asset. And he's not even a greedy player. I know you want your talismanic players to be greedy, but he's like over a few seasons now, he's created the most chances in the league. So if his teammates, maybe Rashford, can get through those purple patches that we know he usually does, Bruno could be an amazing asset. Of course, penalties, free kicks, like I said, and some corners. He's just, everything goes through him if United are going to do well or do somewhat decent this season. So I know he hasn't been returning like we have seen him in previous seasons, but I still feel like he's the same player, and you just need United to do a bit better.
Yeah, you've got the main man in attack there from City, the main man in attack from Arsenal in the Saka. You've got Palace and Liverpool covered as well. I mean, the one person in your draft I know you're swapping between a lot is Saka and Son. Same price point. And you're a Spurs fan. I know how much you love Sonny. I do too. Son's in my team. But Saka's a very good option. I can't deny that. So at the moment, why does Saka edge Son just?
So what actually changed it was this morning I seen Solanke in a Spurs jersey on the app. And I seen the triple Spurs, and I was like, hold on a second. Like, I'm getting a bit carried away, I think.
It's my own team.
You know what I mean? And in the back of my head, I've everyone called me biased. So I was like, let me see what I can do. But no, I generally, I think triple Spurs could work. I mean, Leicester away and then Everton at home. I mean, it's not bad fixtures at all. And then I know we have Newcastle and Arsenal to play, but those are fixtures where I think we can score. And I think a lot of neutrals would also say the same thing. But I look at that Saka home fixture, and I don't know why, but I feel Arsenal do really well against Wolves. I don't know if that's true or not, or I'm making it up, but I feel like Saka could be a great option. But it will come down to the final day who I go.
Yeah, okay. We'll speak more about Salah later in the show. Stay tuned for that, because we're going to talk about captaincy. And if you've gone no Haaland, where you're looking to captain in the first 5 game weeks, I've got a fixture ticket to show you guys. In attack, though, let's continue with the midfield. We can see some of the best attacking data from last season. Arsenal rank 4th. Liverpool rank 2nd. This is all from goals, expected goals, and big chances. One player you don't have is Anthony Gordon. And I just want to ask you about Gordon, because I know you like him. Big chances there. Newcastle got more big chances last season, 134, than any other team in the league. Now, you don't have in your team a Newcastle midfielder or defender. I know you've got Isak, spoiler alert. Do you feel like you might want to double up on Isak and Gordon at any point? Or are you happy going, no, Bruno over Gordon or Eze over Gordon? Because you could swap Eze for Gordon, for example. You could find that 0.5.
Yeah, I suppose I feel like Eze is just so locked that it's not going to be him. I look at Bruno, I say, okay, there is a potential of Bruno potentially going down to a 7.5 and free up 1 million. But I feel like the difference between Bruno and Gordon is all the set pieces. And I mean, United are probably just as good as Newcastle, maybe a small bit in terms of numbers anyway. So I feel like Bruno does edge it for me, and I can't see him. I know what you're talking about because I've been switching around as well. But for me, I think I fancy Bruno.
Yeah, okay. No, I hear that. And it was Community Shield. He played false nine. He's always going to be advanced no matter where he is on the pitch. And you're right, he's on absolutely everything. And you've got a lot of players here that are on all the set pieces and pens. So Bruno and Eze and Saka. Salah obviously on pens. Before we see your front three, Oscar Bob, he's your 8th attacker. The standout 8th attacker in the game, would you say? I mean, we've both got Bob. I've got him in my team too. 5 million.
No, I absolutely love Bob.
You'll play him in the Ipswich fixture though, game week 2, right?
100%. That's why he's there almost. No, I feel like 5 million. It could turn out as a flop. He might be benched in the second game, or I feel like the sky is the limit. You know what I mean? Like he could play more than just the first 3. And I think he might be playing on the right side as well, competing with I think Savio. So there is an opportunity that he gets a lot of games this season, and at 5 million, why not take the risk?
I'd feel exactly the same. I'm like, everyone was telling me he knows rotation risk. Yeah, he is, but sell him when he starts getting benched. But if he starts the season well, and he has in pre-season, look, they're City's best player, we know he's going to start game week 1. If he plays well, he starts game week 2. If he plays well, he probably starts game week 3. Like both Bernardo and Foden are being considered in more central areas now. That right-hand side is his for the taking. So yeah, I think it's a great punt, Chai. And I know you like those sorts of players. Like I've played football with you. You were a bit poorly, so you weren't given the best account of yourself that day. But you play like Oscar Bob. You've got that. You've got that quick little turn and that run at you with pace.
Never
He's your
thought
sort
of
of player.
giving that compliment. But I'll take it.
Yeah, I don't think there's a player in FPL that I can compare myself to, put it that way. Where you're old school centre backs that actually aren't very good with their feet. Let's get to your front 3 then, because you don't have Haaland, which gives you an opportunity to again go different to the template in the front 3. The template front 3 is Solanke, Isak, Haaland. We're going to talk captaincy in a minute, so stay tuned for that, because the captaincy is a massive discussion here once we've seen Dylan's team, knowing there's no Haaland. So look, you've got Isak and Solanke, that's 2 of the 3. But you've got João Pedro who is criminally underpriced, isn't he? 5.5 million, Brighton's 100%. Best player, penalties, he's a steal.
Yeah, definitely a steal. And I know there's a lot of uproar when his price reveal got released. But for sure, I feel like he's really, really good value. And I know the first 3 or 4 fixtures aren't the greatest. But that first fixture against Everton away is lovely. Whether or not I start him or Bob, I haven't actually decided yet. But it's always nice to have the option. No, but yeah, João Pedro, and we know how good he can be on his day, and I know he can be a troll sometimes, but it can't really go wrong for 5.5 million.
Yeah, I don't think so. And Solanke, as a Spurs fan, you confident he starts on that Monday Night Football?
Yeah, I wouldn't say confident, but that's because I have an 8 attacker. I know we won't know before, but I feel like Kulusevski might get a game. I'm unsure. He's actually one that I've been tinkering with. Remember, I think in my last draft I had Jesus, and of course we've seen him get dropped in the last game. So if Jesus was like nailed, I'd have Jesus instead of Solanke and Saka to Son. You know what I mean? So you can kind of interchange them. But because we know Saka's nailed and we know Solanke maybe after game week 1 is probably going to be 100% nailed.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I like it. I think it's worth a punt. If Solanke had gone to Spurs before FPL dropped their prices, he doesn't come in at 7.5. He comes in 8 or maybe even 8.5. Like you're getting Spurs. Spurs just produce a crazy amount of chances for their number 9s, right? Like you watched them so much under Postecoglou. Richarlison benefited massively. Son got points as the number 9, but Solanke, an out number 9, a very good finisher. We can aim for 20 goals this season, can't we?
I'd be very happy with 20.
I mean, I guess he's probably not having penalties, so he might lose a few there.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like it's not even just the amount of chances, it's how high quality the chances are. You know, the ball is being whipped in front of the 6-yard box for him to tuck in. Well, hopefully anyway. But it's just how we play. And I think, yeah, for sure he'll get lots of chances.
Yeah, okay. Look, let me show the fixtures. This is a ticker for the first 5. And I think it's only worth looking for the first 5 because, Well, we don't know when we're going to wildcard, but there's a chance a load of us have wildcarded by game week 6. And if that's the case, let's not overplan. Knowing you don't have Haaland, just talk to me about your captaincy choices. We've got on the ticker the big 8 teams at the top. I've also included Fulham, Palace, Everton, but I'm actually going to show you the big 8 ticker instead, just those big 8 teams, because I think your captaincy is always going to be on one of these players. So what are you thinking early on between Isak and Salah?
For me, it's just going to be Salah. That's it.
Yeah.
I won't try to do
game
too
week
much
1.
thinking.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, game week 2 as no Haaland. I mean, this is when Haaland plays Ipswich, right? So
Yeah.
where do you think you'll go?
Probably Salah.
Yeah, it's fair. Brentford at home's a really when Haaland has his 2 great fixtures in 2 and 4, Salah has 2 great fixtures too.
Yeah. And we've seen, Salah is lethal against these type of teams. Even like United in game week 3 can also do it.
Yeah, so Salah game week 4 and 5 looks good for you. Do you think game week 3 you'll end up going Salah? I mean, he's got United away. Isak's got Spurs at home. You're not going to go there, I doubt.
Yeah. I can't lie. I'm a very on the day or on the week type manager. Like it could come to game week 2 and I'll be like, hold on a second, I'm feeling sunny here, for example. That's just the way I am. But I think Salah is probably the best captain on paper in nearly all of these fixtures, and we'll have to see how Liverpool start the season.
Yeah, I like that, mate. I think it's criminal that so many FPL managers that own Salah swapped him for Jota just because Jota scored and Salah didn't. Now, look, I'm on Jota, but I've never been on Salah, and there's a huge amount of saving there. But for me, Salah is still Liverpool's best attacker, make no doubt about it. And he's going to be heavily backed in game weeks 1, 2, 4, and 5 for captaincy. So yeah, Chai, I'm absolutely here for that. Good luck, man. I love the fact you're going without Haaland. It's brave of you, but you've been here, done it before. You were world number 2 without owning Haaland at all that season. And you're like halfway into the season getting to world number 2 without Haaland last season. So I'm sure you can do it again. If you can, we'll be following your journey on FPL_Chai on YouTube. Guys, I can't stress enough how good a YouTuber Chai is, mainly for his deadlines, mainly for his lives and his deadline streams. Like, get on them. You won't regret it. And this Friday, he'll be doing a live at some point very close to that deadline. So if you're already subscribed to me, make sure you go and subscribe to Dylan. Do hit that like button on this video and subscribe to the Gianni Batici YouTube channel as well. Find us both on Twitter. Any final thoughts from you, Chai?
Best of luck, everyone. If anyone's going Fancy Football Fest, make sure that you say hello. We'll be there and see you on the deadline stream if you're around.
Yeah, nice one, man. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you for another video. So much content dropping now. We've got hours left until that game week 1 deadline. It feels like that anyway. A couple of days to go, and we'll see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.